You don't have to read it, you just tell me what the bottom line is.
Okay, well, hand it here, I'll tell you then.
Yeah.
This one right here is saying, about the gas bill that we've been paying ever since 2011 January. And you had someone down here, which they should have been responsible for the other half, or you should have been. And so as of this year, 2017, we only gonna pay for half of the bill. So that's on here,
Okay, so that's the bottom line of what this is saying.
pretty much, but you still need to read it.
Okay, and what's this
This one right
saying?
here is saying, she broke it down because what it's saying right there, due to being displaced, she had to come up with $500 for emergency housing. So turn it over. Then she breaks it down and say, okay, this is when she was here. That's why you get this amount. The other part of it is going towards half of the $500. Then when February comes, the balance of the $275 will clear the $500 for her emergency housing.
I don't think I understand that. Let me see.
Okay,
So you
well,
said
that's
her
why-
emergency housing is $500?
Yeah, with a $500 deductible.
Okay, and what you
And so
saying is,
she stated, this is what she said from right here, December 1st to the 16th, but they said December 12th, but it's okay. The amount was $225 that she's giving you, and the other part of it is going towards the $500 to clear the deposit that she had to put up for her housing.
okay,
Okay, so then
is it a deposit or is it a
You should have-
deductible?
this is there it is right there.
Oh, it's a deductible, so
Right,
it's not a
okay,
deposit.
right, okay,
Because
deductible.
deposit you get back,
Right,
deductible you
okay,
don't.
deductible.
Okay,
Okay. Then the other-
so let me make sure I get this one. So this one is saying that she's gonna pay $275.
no, 225.
She's paying
Right here,
$225 for the month
225.
of January.
Her December,
She already
First-
paid. She paid December rent, I think.
yeah, but her December, when she stayed December 1st to the year end, she gives it to you January payment. So her January payment
No, I
will be
think-
February payments.
No, I think she is. When she pays in January, she's paying for January.
Oh, okay, well, see, I didn't know it. She didn't
I think
understand
so.
how it goes, so.
I need to check that because she might be the same way as. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So she's thinking that she's paying January. She's thinking that she's paying for the month prior
Right, uh-huh,
versus the current. Okay, that probably is right.
okay.
So she's basically saying for the month prior, since she wasn't there, she's only paying half that
Right,
amount.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she said if it was January 1st to January 31st, then she wasn't here December 16th, or they considered it a loss December 12th. So then you still would only get half if it was covering December. But if it was covering January to January 31st, which would be her February payment, then she is saying that basically you don't get rent because she wasn't here. But this 500 have to be cleared up, however it's done, and then, they have to break it down however it is.
This is really confusing.
You have to figure out if she paying December 1st, 31st, when January comes, is that covering December? Or is she January 1st to the 31st, it's within that month that
I
she's
think-
covering her?
I think hers is actually the previous month.
Okay,
'Cause
well, that's what she
why-
thought too.
Yeah, I think hers is the previous month. But even still, this is just confusing.
Okay,
Only
well,
because I don't understand. So she pays a $500 deductible, right?
Right.
And then that's the only amount that she has to pay.
for right now that I know of,
Okay. And basically, you're taking the $500 deductible out of almost 2 months of rent, more or less. You're splitting it in half.
right, because
Okay.
she giving you portion that she stayed here until she left
Right.
December 16th.
Okay. Okay, so she's paying those 15 days or 16 days. And then the balance, the 225 balance goes towards the $500
Right,
balance, which leaves a 275
Right.
balance.
which will
Which
come out
she's saying she's going to take out of the
February 1st. Because she
which
don't
is
have
the
all of
February 1st, which is the January rent.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that part is that part. Now on this, go back to this people gas bill before I forget what I'm saying. Okay, on this bill, I went on ahead and I explained in here that I went on ahead and paid it so that the bill would not be late. It's still on the budget bill. You cannot be late. So I went on ahead and paid it. So it's $262 on the budget bill right now. But every so often, every maybe 4, 5, 6 months.
So I'll agree to this this half bill stuff.
Okay.
Effective now, not
Okay.
after, not before today, but effective.
No, the January bill started January 20th. So what I'm saying is the bill had
Okay.
just came and I went on ahead and paid it so it wouldn't reflect that it was past due because they
Okay.
will take you off the budget.
So January 20th, it was the last.
No, that's for January.
So January 20 is the January bill.
Right, it's the January bill. December bill, that in year 2016, that was a done. So when January came, look at the bill right there. It's on the end. Keep going. It's all the way to the end.
So what is this saying?
This is what the bill is. See, it's payment due, January 20, 2017, $262. I normally send it around the first or the second of the month and clear it out to whatever, but the bill
So
didn't come.
You already paid this one.
Yeah, I already paid that.
Okay.
So,
So then it's really January 21st until 30 days from there.
the next one will come February 20, but the bill will have to be paid by that date.
By February 20th.
Right.
Okay. So then that's only like 5 days. So that's fine.
Well, actually, the bill came kind of late, and I don't know why. So I went on ahead and shot the bill so that, like I said, it wouldn't reflect that it was going to be past due. So I wrote a check for 131, and then I went and turned around and wrote the other check for 131. So that's what I'm saying. So it will be half of the 262.
Oh, so you already did the 131.
Right. And I did it. Because the bill has to be paid in full. You cannot send them.
So I would probably be okay with that, but we should have talked about it before you just made the decision to say, okay, 131.
Okay, at first I was, but then when I called and the system said, because I hadn't even got the bill yet. So when I called, it said that due 262 January 20th. So when I got the bill, it was actually January 14th. So how many days do I have so that it'll clear by the 20th? Well, the system will say that now you're past due, and past dues go against you. You understand what I'm saying? So they easily would take you off the budget bill.
I got it, but the problem that I have is that you're making a decision that's a money decision, and you're not letting me know advance.
Okay, but my thing
That
is,
was
I
the
understand
only
what
thing.
you're saying, but at the same token, why I'm gonna sit back and let the bill go in default, and then that's another conversation when I could just went on ahead and paid the bill. I'm giving you the bill now and say, okay, well I paid it, so that it wouldn't go into the rears.
Okay.
They don't take partial payments when you're on the budget.
Oh, so you didn't pay. So you made the full payment.
Yeah, I made the full payment.
Of 260 something.
That was $262.
But I thought you just said you paid.
No, I paid 131. I had wrote a check out the week before. Then when I called because I hadn't got the bill, I went on ahead and submitted the other part the same time, 131. So both of them clear. That's what I'm saying. So 131 and 131 equals 262.
But why did you pay 131 the first time?
No. I wrote the check out because I told my mother that I was going to say something to you, but since I hadn't got the bill.
So then really there's nothing due on this one.
No, and this is what you go by
So-
right here. You don't, this right here is whatever the usage is, and it keep
Right.
adding up.
So-
This is,
So this is done. So
Right.
so really we're talking February 20 bill.
the
Is
next
when-
time. But
is
this one
when
right
it's-
here, you would owe me 131 for that bill right there.
Oh, you said so you said
Yeah.
I owe you 131.
Right, 131. That will be the first floor half of that bill.
See, that's probably where we'll have some contention with, is because we didn't agree to that until today.
Okay, but my thing is, and I had always mentioned to you about this heat bill down here, Leonard, so there should not be a question as to almost 4.5 years you had me and my mother pay for upstairs when you had somebody down here. It doesn't matter who put them down here. It still was not fair for us to pay for the whole building, even whether somebody was down here or not, because you're the landlord.
Then, okay, no problem.
Okay,
so
okay.
then if I move Tony out and you can go down to Sharon's and you guys can pay the full bill.
No, we don't pay the full bill. That's because that's just what I got that in there for you to read right now. If this is like the lady explained to me,
Okay,
if you upstairs on the
what I'll
second
do-
floor, hold on a minute. If you upstairs on the second floor and it's a first floor and it's a 1 meter to heat up the whole building, we should not be liable to pay the whole heating bill.
Right. I agree. You shouldn't. So
Okay.
what we'll do is, because I don't even agree with you guys even paying the heating bill at all. So, well, I'm gonna read.
Well,
this
that's in
detail.
there too, if that's what you decide, because it states that
Yeah.
as a landlord or owner, when you have a 1 meter
Yeah.
heating system, it's really the responsibility of the landlord, and then you show us the bill and say, you owe me this portion.
But I think that's where it's wrong. I don't have to show you the bill.
It's on there.
Wait, no, because what I'll do is I'm just gonna include in your rent, I'll include in your rent that the heating is included, heating and water is included, and then I'll just adjust the rent for that amount. So that way you don't pay water bill, you don't pay the gas bill. I'll set the gas meter at whatever the city says it's supposed to be. I'll leave it there. And then that's it. You guys just pay one flat fee. You don't have to worry about paying ComEd or People's Gas
Your
or the
water
water
bill.
bill. You just pay. So I'll go through. I'll calculate what I think is the right rate for utilities, and then I'll just tell you guys, this is the new rent. It'll be this amount, and then that's it.
Okay, and then the other thing is also, and I'm just gonna say this, and the reason why we pay half of the people gas is because when Dada and them had the building, it was some issues, and luckily we had money that we put aside that they say save the rent money, so we go down there trying to clear up this past due bill or whatever, because we wasn't getting the people gas bill or the water bill. So that was an agreement with Dada saying, okay, you all pay half the bill, because actually it had went in my name until they went into court and they said nothing could be in my name because I didn't own it. So that's why the water came out and the people gas bill came out. But really, the people gas person said if there's 3 floors in here and you have a 1 meter, even though somebody lived on the first floor, it's really a third. If you had 4 people in this unit, it's really divided by 4.
Well, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do it by probably square footage, not by number of people. It's by how much space you occupy, how much. Okay, it's this amount because of this. And you guys are free to say, well, we don't accept that, and that's the negotiation.
Yeah, but you would have to be fair, seeing that, first of all, down here, you have did work, you have did whatever. When you come upstairs, Leonard, the windows and stuff, you never fixed the windows over 3, 4, 5 years. Basically, heat is basically going out of the windows, out of the back door, through the floors and stuff. So that's what I'm saying in
But I
terms
didn't
of.
cause any of that.
Say what?
I
I
didn't
didn't cause any of that either. But
That
once
was
you purchased
before.
the building,
Right.
then that was basically on you. That's your responsibility and
it-
liability to.
It is mine, but also it's my responsibility and liability that I can be in a arrangement, because this is really an arrangement. That's what we're going to right now. This is really an arrangement, and I'm not required to be in an arrangement that doesn't make financial sense for me. No, and this is what my attorney told me. I am not required. Say, hey, look, Yes, you bought the building, you're responsible for the building, but at the end of the day, you are not required to maintain any kind of relationship or any type of arrangement where it doesn't make financial sense to you.
So are you talking to an Illinois attorney or are you talking to a Virginia or Washington,
I'm
D.C.?
to an Illinois attorney.
Oh, okay, because, I talk to them too. I don't
Right.
talk to out of states because I don't live out of state and I don't go out of state.
I don't
So,
talk to them either, but it makes sense. You can't force somebody to stay in a relationship if they don't want to stay in one.
you're right.
So that was his basis of it. He said, you don't have to stay in a relationship if you want to. Now, that's not the direction I want to take this, but there does become a point where it doesn't make financial sense to me. There becomes a point where it doesn't. And it may become a point to you guys where it doesn't make financial sense to you also. And when it doesn't make, and I've told Colleen this a couple of times, when we get to this point, and I tell her this every single year, when we get to this point, when it doesn't make sense financially or otherwise, we just gonna have to realize that and take it from there. I'm not saying that it doesn't make financial sense right now, but it's getting very close to that. Because if I have to spend $40,000 this year just to do repairs, I'd rather shut the building down, which I'm allowed to, shut the building down, pay the fine, $2,000, $3,000 fine, shut the building down, and save my $37,000 because I'm not here. I don't get any benefit. I dump $40,000 into this building, I get zero benefit because I'm only here maybe 10 days a year, if I'm even here 10 days a year. And I don't even plan on being here no more than that for the rest of my life because I'm
Okay,
retired.
so then why don't you just put it back on the market like you should have did many years ago when you said that originally you really don't care and you did it for a purpose. So
I did it for a purpose, and that might be one of the financial decisions I make is say, look, Leonard, it doesn't make sense to keep the building. When I talk to my accountant, he say, you know what, it don't even make sense to even hold the building. That might be what he says. Or he may say, you know what, because I have dumped a lot of money into this building. I've paid almost 10 years, close to 10 years worth of mortgages on this building. So I'm in a hole every year just paying mortgages of close to $20,000 every single year. It's been almost 10 years. That's over $200,000 that I have that's just the mortgage. That don't include any of the other stuff. That's $200,000 that I'm already paid to it. So I have to look at that and say, okay, what do I do at this point? I'm already $200,000 in. Do I put it on the market? You're not going to get that money back out right now. Or do I hold it until I get that money back out? Or do I do what I really want to do is hold it and tear them all three down at the same time? Because that's really what I want to do. And that's going to take another 10 years. Because if I have to spend money to renovate, I'd rather rebuild. But again, these are financial decisions that I got to work through. Again, neither one of us are bound to stay in a relationship that doesn't make sense. And I'm just saying, right now, it's probably maintainable, but we're getting into the point where it just may not make sense. Because think about it. I mean, you guys look at it from your perspective, and I completely understand your perspective. But look at it from my perspective. This is probably $225, right? This probably doesn't take a dent on anything at all, nothing at all. I had to pay up close to $10,000 just for the heating system down there. Believe me, if it wasn't because y'all were here and relatives, I would have just said shut the building down and gave the people 30-day notice, which I'm allowed to. 30-day notice, you're on a month-to-month 30-day notice. I'm not paying $10,000 for a heat system. Why? Because I'm not here. So
that's your key thing is that you're not here, but you still have people here, so you
right,
still
I do.
That's an obligation.
I have an obligation up to the arrangement, which is your month-to-month tenants. Not just you, everybody. I only have month-to-month tenants. Your month-to-month tenants, right? I'm obligated for that 30-day period. Bam. I would just pay you off. Hey, here's your month-to-month, done. But I didn't do that. I said, fine, this is going to be inconvenience for a lot of people. I took the $10,000 that was going to go for something else important and paid it to get the heat here. But like I said, when I get this is just, this doesn't take a dent on anything.
I understand.
Property taxes went up. It doesn't. So it is not, this whole arrangement was never about money because believe me, the money made a dent. The $450 that your mother paid, minus the water bill portion that I have to pay, right?
And she paid the other portion like now. That needs to be paid because you in the arrears $380 something bucks.
It'll be paid before they turn it off, like it always is. But think about it. It's about $70 a quarter, or maybe it's like $40 a month, right?
No.
It's about $40 a month.
You get a bill every month and a half, and on the average it's $145.
So I gotta pay around $50 a month, and you guys pay about $50 a month. So take
Exactly.
$450. So $450 minus 50, so it's $400. Then I still gotta pay the electric bill down here just so I can keep the whatever going on. Just say another $50. So you see, it just $350. That touches almost nothing, and then in nothing, absolutely nothing, nothing at all. It doesn't. So it's never been about money, because if it was ever about money, it would be a completely different discussion. But I just want, when you go back and talk to Colleen, and I've told her this several times, when it doesn't make sense.
I'm quite sure she's getting to the point that she got to realize whatever it is at the end of the day, that's just, it is what it is.
Right.
And I tell her the same thing.
Right.
I say, because you never know. At any point, things change financially, whatever might be
Exactly.
going on in somebody's world or whatever, and they just can't do it no more.
Right.
And I said, you already saw how it played out when it got purchased and before, when Dada and them had it. It was almost in the same situation until they went to court on it.
Right.
On both of them, 628 too, and over here. But if you're coming on upstairs, I got to get out of here in another.
Okay. But, so you understand my point. I think you can communicate. I don't really have to read all. I will read all
No,
this.
you can
but
just have it just in case
I'll
you
read
need it or whatever.
but-
It might be something, that you might want to look at or not, but then I don't want to be the one that's not where you don't have it. Do something.
This way I don't have to have people keep coming every single day just to look. Oh, wait. Oh, it's this piece right here, right? And this piece right here. Let's see.
And why is it that they build, we already 4 inches to step up on the toilet. Now you 2 inches less than a ruler to step up on a toilet.
Because of the pipe.
Okay, but when the inspector was here, he distinctly asked that guy who you hired to do this floor, what was he gonna do about that rotten wood underneath this floor, because it needs to come up. Then that Saturday, Daryl has some man come up here and put 2x4s up here. So what I'm saying is, if Daryl was your representative, then he should have told you what that inspector said about this floor. Then it wouldn't even got like this. Daryl stood right here just like I did.
Oh, with the inspector?
With the inspector, and when Mark was here, bent down, and he asked him about that floor, looking at all that rotten wood and jolts and stuff under there, and said, all of that needs to come up. What you gonna do about it?
Where's the rotten wood at?
Move that. Move that plastic and stuff, all of that. All this that's under here, it was built up on rotten wood. You can go back here and look at this. Move this. See all that? All that go all the way underneath the bottom of this toilet, all underneath this sink.
That's not rotten though.
Well, this area is rotten because it's been water damage.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
your camera light at? Look under there.
Hold on a second. So it could be water damage and not rotten. That's the key thing. You can have water damage but not be rotten.
Well,
Rotten.
okay.
Rotten, it has to be. So like I can tell you right now if it's rotten, not rotten. The way you can tell if it's rotten is when you tap it and it starts to peel. That means
Well, the
that
area under here, when this toilet was not here and all this was gone, that's what, when the inspector came here, he came right in here and said, what are you going to do about this floor? You need to get all of that rotten wood and that stuff up. And that's what he told the guy. But then Mark never came back. Daryl come up here with an old man. That's Saturday, and a Mexican lady. He come in here, go downstairs, cut some 2x4s, had this door closed, and then for 3 hours, Daryl was in here. I said, what was you doing? Oh, nothing. So as soon as he left, I pushed the door open, and this is what I see. But the man didn't do that. Daryl did this. The man put the 2x4s under there.
So this, to me, it's not rotten. If it's rotten underneath, that's another problem. But they're not going to pull this up to determine if it's rotten underneath.
That's not even safe. Why don't you take a seat and wobble and do stuff up on top of that toilet? You get up there a couple of times and see how your leg and your hip would feel. It's almost like you do one of these numbers, and then this part of your leg is off. And my mother came here on Christmas, and she said, no way. She tried it. She said, I can't get up there and do that. Not no everyday thing.
So you know what they could probably do? Just build the rest of the floor up. So when you walk in, you just have one step up, and then everything is level all the way across. Just build the whole thing up.
Yeah, but I would hope that still they go underneath that tub. Whether you say that it's rotten or not, it's been many a times that this toilet has overflowed, the tub has overflowed, the pipe that was back there, water overflowed out of the drain thing and came into this area. So that clearly states right there that the wood itself is not even sturdy enough to hold water in a tub, hold another person that's 220 some pounds. And then you got that cast stove, that tub over there, and look at all that weight that's in there. So did you take the plastic down, or you just took a picture of the plastic?
I just took a picture of the plastic.
No, you need to take it down so you can see what's happening under there.
No, I believe you. All they need to do though is make sure what they cut out. They're just gonna take the measurements here, because they're probably gonna end up just doing the whole wall, because it's gonna take as much effort to do this as it does to just do the whole wall. So they'll probably just take a piece. I don't know if they're gonna rip this off or not, but they'll probably just take 2 pieces of plywood, cut it, stick one here, bam, cover this up, cut it out, stick one over there, and be done with it. Because the amount of time it's gonna take them to cut this piece, they'll spend at least an hour just trying to cut the exact pattern out when it's just dump too many pieces up there. If
Turn
this is
that
good,
water on too.
that's gonna be it.
Now, before he came and did this work, water was going straight on out, didn't make no noise, didn't sit there in the tub or anything. I come here, I don't even use the toilet. I come here and I spray in here, I pour bleach down the toilet, I spray and keep the sink and stuff clean. I put water in the sink. I can go in the kitchen and come back, the water is still sitting there in the tub, so I will plunge it. When the water, what is that noise?
That's the water going down. That's gonna happen because we have a new pipe. This whole pipe has been replaced. It's smaller than the other one. It's up to code because we got the plumber inspector, but this is going to occur because it's
yeah, but then maybe it needs to be rotted again because it wasn't never taking that. If you fill that thing up, if you fill that tub up a little bit more water than that, like you getting in there to take a bath, that water is not going out like it would normally go out. It's supposed to swirl out and the water gone. That water sometimes will sit there for a minute, even though it's making a noise. Now I understand the noise since you said it was a pipe, a new pipe.
It's a new pipe.
But I'm talking about how slow that water is going out. That's almost like how it was doing before the last man came and clinked that drain line over there when it was just really not going out.
Okay, I don't know, but I got to do it one thing at a time, and that's getting these things, whatever the violations are, that's the priority, and have them check off. So it looks like what they did here, it is a smaller, this pipe right here, this is new right here, so it looks like they did put you know what they did? And this is because they had to vent it. I look at it now. It is a, it goes down like this. You probably can't see it, but it goes down like, it's like that. Look underneath that sink right there. You see that L thing right there? or that U thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what they did, and you know the purpose of that U thing is so that you don't get sewer gases up. So before you didn't have a U thing right there, so if you had sewer gases, they could come up. But now that you have that U thing, the water doesn't go down as fast because it has to, it's called a trap. A P trap, I think. Because now they put one here, there's one in the kitchen, and now there's one here. There wasn't one on this one before.
Why you didn't do something with those pipes and stuff? All this stuff right here, I don't care how much spray you put on here, disinfect, bleach, or whatever, this stuff would never change. I don't know, I mean, that's water lines, all that stuff could have been something done with it.
You can't change this. If we change, and I think I told you this also.
What?
If they have to change this right here, if they mess with that,
You talking about this stuff right here?
don't shake
No,
it.
you talking about this stuff?
Yeah. What they might do, what I might have them do, is build a soffit around this where you don't even see it.
Oh.
Because that's where just like downstairs, we have a soffit. Almost every building has a soffit now. But this is old plumbing, so you're not required to have a soffit. But if we have to replace those pipes, it's over with this whole thing because this is just too much. They'd have to open up all the walls just to get this done. So
Yeah, but wouldn't they normally work from downstairs to look up to see what they working with versus being up here to look down and see what they working with?
Nope. What they're looking at is the plumbing violation specifically. They're going one by one. This wasn't a violation. So I'm surprised he even put a P-trap on this one.
He said all three of them needed to be vented, toilet, tub, and the sink.
So they didn't write it up like that, but if he came back and said that that's a different way, but I'm shocked because he didn't write it on here. He said, oh, you know what? He said bathroom, but he said bathroom. I'll go back. I didn't think it included the tub. But okay. But this thing right here, this is not going to work. Because if you can move it like this, that ain't going to work. And it's probably not bolted down, is it? No.
And just because you shaking it like that, how you know when you get downstairs, wherever that pipe is going, and now you might not even see water dripping, leaking
It
somewhere.
probably will. That's why it needs to be bolted down. So they'll probably have to figure out how to bolt this thing down. This toilet probably needs to be replaced anyway. It's kind of old. Okay, well, I just needed this. In fact, I don't even need this now because I see that it's better to just put 2 pieces of plywood up here. Make sure they check each one of these pieces here.
No, well, that's what happened when Mark went in there. He opened it up and
Probably
something happened. I don't know.
I
I
probably
know I
won't
seen
even
him shake
open
his
it up.
head real hard, like.
We don't want to open them up. That's what you don't want to do unless you have to. So I'm thinking put 2 pieces up
And then
here.
if you get in there and you open it up, then what if it's something that's with that ceiling over there that's leaking? That because when I'm in that room, just like the other day, last week when it rained 3 times, I'm sitting in the chair, no radio, no TV, and all of a sudden on that wall that's